Back into the action. Turn up.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal. And tonight we'll see the Charlotte Hornets playing against the Houston Rockets. Taking a look at the Rockets, on the road they know this is a winnable game, but it won't be easy. A quality team with their home fans behind them, always a tough challenge to overcome. And looking at the second half of the season, Shaq, for the teams that are thinking rebuild, what do you expect to see from them?
Well, so you got to play the young guns, Ernie. You got to give them the experience that they need. You got to evaluate them. You got to check them out. And you got to evaluate everyone in the organization.
Well, but Shaq, if you do all that, there's still got to be an element of pride. Like, you still got to win ball games because momentum heading into next season is vastly underrated.
Oh, really valid points made by both of you on that, which
Thank you.
Is extremely rare. Here's Kevin Harlan.
Oh, that was hurtful.
We are in Charlotte, North Carolina, as we get ready for this interconference contest right here. Thanks for joining us as we get set to bring you NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, and by my side, Chris Webber and Greg Anthony. From the sideline, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. You look at the Rockets. They like their chances, but this could be a tough game for them. Facing up against a talented roster, they'll have to show that they're the better team.
And seeing where the Rockets are, they haven't been the dominant force lately that we've kind of come to expect. They're still going to be a factor, though, in the postseason.
Now let's send it down to David Aldridge, standing by from the sidelines. David?
Well, guys, we know when you talk about dedication, Chris Paul is among the greatest. Now, he says, I have a scary passion for basketball. I study it, I watch it all day, every day. I'm not the most athletic guy, so I have to use my mind and my knowledge of the game. Kevin, he is a professor out on the floor.
Tremendously competitive with great attention to detail, David. Thanks. Chris, games like this one with two veteran teams, you can see the thought process on the floor. Real chess match between these two.
Yeah, you can never get caught up with the score early in games like this. I mean, both teams are smart, patient. They know what they're doing out there, and they know what they do well during the whole game. Love watching the game with the minds like this with a little physical play inside, too.
So off the tip at Charlotte. A look at the opening lineup for the Houston Rockets. The engine of this team, Paul and Harden in the backcourt. Clint Capella is out there with P.J. Tucker. And it's Gordon in at the small forward position. It's stolen by Capella, and he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. Kemba Walker picks one up.
I mean, and Capella really using his massive shoulders to draw contact, not afraid to go right up into the grill of the defender.
Houston shooting their first shots of the night from the charity stripe.
Yeah, looking over their percentage on the season, I think they will be thrilled with the number in terms of their free throw percentage, 79.
The first one falls.
Well, at the start of the summer, many expected a busy market for Capella in free agency. Eventually, though, signing a 4-year deal to remain with the Rockets. I feel like it's a great deal for Houston as Capella gives them the perfect inside presence to complement Harden and Paul.
He's perfect from the line this time. We have a look at the Rockets organization, Chris. One of the best run teams people think in this league.
Oh, well, definitely. I mean, over a decade of winning basketball, they find ways to win, and then they won't be satisfied till they win it all.
And that's exactly what he's looking for, draining the triple.
Paul against Walker. Paul kicks it to Tucker. Houston moving the ball around. Paul passes to Harden. 6 on the shot clock. Over Lamb. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Harden's got his first points in this one.
Oh, that's a good way for Harden to keep the D off balance. Use the mid-range here.
At the elbow, Williams hangs, and the layup good by Batum.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
Now here's Paul. 20 points for him last game against Atlanta.
And it was the little things, too. I mean, getting to the line, finding ways to get his points any way possible.
Now Batum after Eric Gordon's three-pointer that didn't go. There's Walker with the three. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
They love to get Walker into that pick-and-roll position. 9 times out of 10, he'll make something good happen.
Paul kicks to Harden. Capella, high post. Over Zeller. And the rebound goes to the Hornets.
Not easy to miss a clean look inside like that, but he manages to do it.
And Williams gets it to go on the assist from Batum. Williams has got his second bucket of the night.
They've come out the locker room. His eye. 4 for 4 to start the night.
And the pass to Tucker. Up top, Capella. He's covered by Zeller. Paul's shot is off.
No flow to their offense at all yet. I mean, just 1 for 5 from the floor to start the game.
Now here's Lamb, guarded by Harden. And Lamb kicks to Walker. That three off the mark.
Now, their first miss after a perfect 4 for 4 start. Still, I really like the game plan they've come out with.
The shot's good from Paul.
And a good read right there by Paul. Great at carving out space close to the rim and capitalizing.
Now here's Walker. 23 points for him the last game against Golden State.
He finds a major hole in the D beyond the arc. They still can't cash in on it.
Here's Gordon. 4-point game. Dishes to Tucker. Gordon the pass to Harden. He kicks it to Tucker. Got a piece of it.
Registering one of the highest verticals at the NBA Combine, Zeller can send your shot back.
And the shot goes in.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Rockets trailed by 6.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Here's Paul. Walker with some nice D.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
Oh, wonderful anticipation. He reads the play perfectly, then with the quick reaction time.
Now here's Lamb. He's coming off a 16-point game against Golden State.
But we got to talk about his D2. 4 steals in the game. I mean, a complete all-around effort for him.
And the basket by Harden.
Oh, I love how Harden pulls once he gets the ball. If you play off him just a little bit, it'll cost you.
Now here's Lamb. Not a lot of room. Outside Williams. Off target from 3-point range. Rockets trail by 4. To the middle. Here's Harden. Kicks it out to Gordon. Lets it go with a 3. Kept alive by Houston. The shot's good.
Oh, man, Capella absolutely destroys the opposition on the offensive glass, using that gigantic body of his to snag down second chance opportunities.
So Charlotte calls timeout. They're first.
And Clint Capella, born in Switzerland, his mother immigrating from the Congo. Growing up poor, Clint lived in a welfare orphanage from age 6 up to 13. I mean, those were tough times, but he said it helped prepare him for where he is now.
Already it's February. Let's see how the East is matching up. Look at Milwaukee. What a run they've had this year. In first place and charging seemingly at will toward the postseason. These guys have been outstanding. And, of course, Charlotte just way behind.
And checking out Charlotte, they've had their chances to kind of separate themselves from the pack this season, but so far they haven't been able to capitalize on those opportunities.
Yeah, every time it looks like they're ready to make a step forward, something goes wrong.
Clock is at 3. Here's Lamb. Offensive rebound. Williams. Zeller trying to free himself up. The shot by Williams, no good. Harden draws the double. And the bucket is good. Three-point play chance here for him.
He's giving them a nice lift this quarter. The shots are falling. And if James Harden has one signature move, it's got to be his step-back jumper. Something he's worked on for years. And like the sky hook or Nowitzki's fadeaway, it's becoming one of those iconic, unstoppable shots.
They now lead as the free throw drops for him. And Chris, you look at Harden's step back, there's a real different rhythm to it, isn't there?
I mean, he covers a lot of ground with that gather step. I mean, some fans even wonder if it's travel. But I guess it's legal. Tremendous footwork crafted over countless reps in the gym.
Williams, that's good.
And they are going toe-to-toe here tonight, guys. This thing's like a heavyweight fight.
Punch, counter punch. Neither club's been able to sustain an advantage.
Now here's Gordon. Turned in an outstanding game against Atlanta. And Marvin Williams picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is checked in for the Hornets. Here's Capella. Out of bounds. Charlotte takes possession. And now let's bring up the 2K leaderboard to see which teams over the last month have been best at scoring points off turnovers. The Rockets #1.
And you always like to see aggressive defense. And then when you can convert mistakes into points offensively, that's a big key.
Paul against Walker. Kicks it to Zeller. Outside Batum. Pass to Walker. From outside the arc. It's hauled in by Clint Capella. Capella's got 6 rebounds here tonight.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard.
Now Paul. James Harden missing on the 3. Houston needs to get a shot off. For 3, Gordon. Rebounded by Lamb.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
And there's the whistle. 3-second violation.
All right, a chance to check out stats for Harden. This last month, he's been positively spectacular. First in scoring, and he pressures the ball and forces turnovers at a rate that's remarkable. How about second in the league in steals per game?
And his scoring abilities are just so far out of sight. #1 overall right now. No one's been able to slow him down or even come close. Now here's Paul. Steady offensive output from him, averaging more than 16 points a game. Here's Capella, and the dunk by Capella.
Oh, Capella is just fantastic at dunking it home, leaving no mistake on these kinds of chances near the hoop.
Walker taking his time here. To the paint. He's looking for Kidd-Gilchrist and finds him. It's good.
And a nice job here early of establishing an inside presence.
Well, great leaping ability. Such a advantage in this game of basketball, Chris, when you think about the bigs who can control that kind of part of their game. Who comes to mind for you?
You have to go out there to look at that man, DeAndre Jordan. I mean, he dunks, it looks like a Nerf hoop. He just throws it up there, the way that he gets up. Or how about Drummond, the way that he can get 20 rebounds in just a second, how quick he is at getting that second step and going back up. When I think of athletic big men, I think of Andre Drummond as one of the most athletic big men that I've ever seen in my time of playing basketball.
Here's Tucker. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Pulls up. Harden missing again.
He's not the only one to blame for them being behind, but he hasn't helped their cause much.
Here's Walker. Solid play on the low block, and that one's good. Now it's a 5-point Hornets lead.
That's the awareness that Kid Gilchrist has out there. Excellent at knowing where the open man is.
Ball finds Harden. Good on the three-point shot. Harden's got 10 points in the game.
And really the scoring this quarter has been just off the charts, doing all he can to bring them back.
Outside, Walker. Here's the three. The shot misses. The Rockets go the other way with it, getting their first look of the... Whoa!
Goodness.
Woo.
I mean, come on, man. Harden is ridiculously clever, including how he decides to posterize you. A superb athlete.
And that was an unleashed chaos replay, courtesy of Under Armour, wreaking havoc at the rim.
And look, the D has to be talking out there. They can't make threes that easy for them.
Takes the three. Hornets with the rebound. And moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Warriors.
And the big problem, they got trigger happy. Shot a very low percentage from beyond the arc.
Well, the obvious solve is to go to the basket. I mean, there were some open lanes. They were just unwilling to take advantage of it. That's a good way to boost his three-point percentage. Take advantage of some soft defense.
And it's Paul with the ball for the Houston Rockets. They trail by 6. They are coming off that win against Atlanta.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
And I feel like the defense was one step behind all night. I mean, they never made the adjustments to string together a few stops.
Now here's Zeller. Last game he had 28 points. Here's Walker. No good that time. And it's Houston the other way. Outside Gordon. There's the three. Good, and Paul gets the assist.
And after missing 4 straight, he finally gets one to go.
Charlotte leading by 3. Outside, Walker. Pass to Lamb. Stolen by Harden. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
I love how Harden attacks the basket when he's close by. Just relentless in finding ways to get himself to the line.
He's gone 1 of 1 in the game so far from the line.
And you know, something I remember from their last game was how good he was at the line.
First free throw is good.
Look, he's always a league leader in free throw attempts. I mean, Harden, he's so shifty, so strong, and he can beat you from any spot on the floor.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
And once he gets into a groove like that, you can just count him.
Charlotte in the lead. Now Lamb. His scoring average sitting at 15 points a game right now. That's a pretty sizable contribution. Charlotte no good that time either.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Kid Gilchrist dishes to Walker. Passes it to Batum. 41 seconds left in the first quarter. A nice shot by Zeller.
Okay, before the game, his college coach told us that he's the most focused kid he's ever recruited. Zeller's showing great focus there, converting through that contact.
Paul kicks to Harden. And Tucker has it in the corner. And he hits it to tie the game up. Tucker's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. And here's Walker. 8 points for him. And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. from deep.
Well, you see why Paul's made all defensive first team so many times in his career. Terrific job.
And we'll be right back after this. A unique upbringing for Clint Capella. Spent years in a welfare orphanage in Switzerland. He said he never imagined he'd come this far.
As a kid, I wasn't even dreaming about that far. I always said it's even past my dreams. I mean, now I'm just living the moment, trying to work hard as I can, and just enjoy the present. Enjoy the present.
Just an inspiring story, Greg. It gives you perspective on why you should be grateful for everything you have.
Kevin, without a doubt, Capella's upbringing helped shape him, and the hard work he continues to put in is really admirable.
And if you're just tuning in, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. And when you consider how Charlotte is doing, guys, what do you think?
I mean, an interesting first quarter. The pressure D seems to be causing a lot of turnover.
Well, that's what happens when you're aggressive on that end of the floor. They took a few chances and took control of the game.
And so in the game for the Rockets. Ball out there with Rivers. Then there's Kenneth Faried. Then it's P.J. Tucker. And it's Gordon in at the 3 spot. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, it is the era of positionless basketball, but how exactly did we get here? Well, new defensive rules at the turn of the century encouraged face-up scoring, motion-based offense, and guard play over isolation and post-ups. As a result, offensive roles have become more interchangeable.
It has become a positionless game now. David, thank you very much. And Walker kicks to Monk. Shoots over Tucker. And it's Rivers with the rebound.
Hey, look, that's what they want. The ball is in his hands in the post. Just didn't have the touch that time.
The pass to Paul. Rivers finds Paul. 6 to shoot. Over Walker. Misses off the left iron.
He gets some extra attention from the D on that trip, and it throws the shot off.
The shot by Monk is no good. And it's Gordon with the ball. He brings it up for Houston. In the second quarter, they've given up just 3 points. They'll be playing host to Miami for their next game. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again.
And that's what you give up when you don't fight over the screen.
A lot of times your defense is your offense is your defense. This is poor decision making right here. Can't let him have that shot. Also might have been a lack of effort.
Now here's Walker. He's got 8. That one goes. Count it. Walker's got 10 points in the game.
Yeah, another first-year head coach who came up through the ranks as an assistant. James Borrego had been an interim head coach for the Magic in 2015, but he was quickly told that the permanent job would not be his.
Gordon against Batum. And the wide-open shot from Paul. And a miss there on the triple.
Can't fault him for taking the 3 when he's that wide open. Can't pass that shot up.
And Batum kicks to Biyombo. Ball against Walker. And they're unable to get the tying basket there. Houston in the lead. Here's Gordon. Got a hand on it.
Now, the length of kid, Gilchrist, that's what allows him to catch up with these shots. A sensational shot blocker from behind.
Back to Walker. The tray. The Rockets pull it in. Fareed's got 4 rebounds now tonight. And talking about Borrego leaving Orlando, and in some ways turned out to be a blessing.
Well, you're right, Kevin. I mean, he spent the next few years in San Antonio as an assistant to Popovich. His second stint as an assistant with the Spurs. The first time around, though, he was part of a 2-time championship team. This man has winning in his genes.
Here's Paul. Following the score by Charlotte. A shot, shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. And Kenneth Faried, an outstanding performance with Team USA in 2014. But Greg, his minutes have gone down in recent seasons.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great rebounder. He's got all the athleticism you need, but he's not a shooter or a big-time defender. In today's game, you need your big man to do at least one of those two.
And he knocks down the first one. Marvin Williams is checked in for the Hornets. Bridges comes in for Nicholas Batum. And the Rockets making a change here as well. Nene, he's checked in for P.J. Tucker. Both free throws good from Fareed. Well, Chris, some teams already realize a championship just is not going to be in their future this season. How should those kind of teams approach the rest of the season?
Give your best.
Right, yeah.
Give your all. Your competitors. This is the NBA, the greatest league in the world, the greatest basketball players assembled. So, one, you have to respect the game. You have to respect the monotony. You have to respect the work. You have to respect the travel. And you have to be thankful, by the way. And when you put all that together, you go into your job and you do the best. Focus on getting better every day. And there's a good chance that you will.
And making sure that you give the fans what they're paying for.
Hey, that's what it's all about. If you don't entertain the fans, hey, something's wrong with you. If you can't have fun with 20,000 screaming fans and the kids with their popcorns and all the stuff going on, if you don't remember what it's about, Kev, you kind of lost your mojo already.
Shots good by Walker. And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets.
Kemba Walker continuing the fine tradition of New York point guards. He should not go unmentioned when you talk about the NBA's best ball handlers.
Some great passing here so far. Let's check out this chart that breaks down where the assists have been coming from for the Rockets.
And their guards have been the ones to really set the tone here tonight with their ability to create shots. You talk about the big fellas. They love to play with guards who try to keep them involved offensively.
And without a doubt, Kemba Walker, one of the league's most entertaining players.
And enlisted at 6'1", and that might be a stretch, but he uses it to his advantage, staying low and almost dancing when he's out there attacking defenders.
Rockets have made the most out of their opportunities at the line. They have yet to miss in 7 attempts. That's good from Nene. Nene is out of Brazil, a quality player for whom injuries have always been a constraining factor.
Yeah, and that's one reason you like him in that reserve role, controlling his minutes, keeping him fresh, because he's a difference maker on the floor at both ends.
Here's Paul. Kemba Walker making his last shot. Nene outside. Houston moving the ball around. For 3, Gordon. The Hornets pull it in. Biyombo's got 4 rebounds in this game.
No three-pointers for him in the second quarter yet, but he did have one in the first.
And Paul over to help. And there's the call on Nene. That is his first foul of the game. There's the triple, and there's Monk on the assist by Walker. Walker's got his 3rd assist on the night.
I mean, it took him a long time to get into the flow of the game, but the points are starting to come from him.
Now here's Paul. the block. But they get it back. Paul, right side. Three-pointer gets the three-pointer to fall. Paul's got 5 points now this quarter.
And the three-point shots become one of Paul's favorites. Consistent at knocking it down.
Biombo, the pass to Bridges. Walker in the corner. And Paul over to help. 4 on the shot clock. Gordon goes in. Got that one up quick. Gordon's got the lead up to 5 now for Houston.
Yeah, a master at the pull-up jump shot. Gordon shoots with so much confidence off the dribble.
And here's the upcoming schedule for Charlotte. On Friday, they'll tip off a road trip in Brooklyn where they'll take on the Nets. And then on Sunday, they'll be playing against Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers.
And for that matchup with the Wizards, this is a game that they are expected to win. But sometimes those are the kind of games where you get a little bit sloppy and start looking ahead. Either way, they'll need to put in tremendous effort to walk away with the victory.
When it came to a big man's responsibilities, you helped pave the way for so much change in that regard. But what are some of the big C-Web now doing that weren't done when you were playing?
I don't know, Kevin, if it was anything that they weren't doing, but it's the freedom to do it with consistency. So even if we talk about a Larry Bird, who only could shoot maybe a 3.5 a game. Let's just round it up to 2 threes a game. Well, now, what if Larry Bird had the freedom to shoot 10 threes a game like guys do now? And so I think that the game has caught up with players' skill set as opposed to the skill set catching up with players' game. So no longer are you held to being a big man. Now you can be a basketball player. And being a basketball player for Dirk Nowitzki is much better than him being a big man. Dirk Nowitzki, being a basketball player that he is, means that he is a threat wherever he is on the floor because he's not just limited to a 2-foot box space there in the post. And for defenders like myself, I would much rather Dirk Nowitzki have to stay 2 feet in the post than to be able to shoot the ball whenever, wherever he wanted to. Because I tell you what, now you got a problem because he can knock it down from anywhere and everywhere that he wants to.
Shooting 2.
And he makes the first.
And Monk is an interesting player, a combo guard with fantastic scoring potential, quick on both ends of the floor.
And the Rockets making a change here. Green's checked in. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
Yeah, in this quarter, they've had the right approach, driving and drawing, initiating contact, create opportunities, get to the line.
Now here's Harden. He's got 14. Nene, right side. Rivers dishes to Nene. It's rebounded by Charlotte. They'll be off to Brooklyn for a meeting with the Nets after this one. That'll be just one game played away from home for them.
And boy, have they been hitting the backboard in this game or what? Kind of surprising. It's such a tight game.
Here's Harden. And the ball goes out of bounds. It's touched by Fareed. Already it's February. Hard to believe. Let's see how the West is matching up. We'll take a look at the Warriors. They are the favorite right now to lock up the #1 seed come playoff time. Sitting in first place right now and not looking like they, are going to be slowing down at all. And of course, there's the Rockets. 8 games out.
And I think for the Rockets, they've stayed right there, just in sniffing distance of the conference leaders. That's a solid accomplishment at this stage of the season.
Well, it's possible we haven't seen them at their best yet. They've shown they can play with any team in the league. Now they need to do it every night, not just some nights.
There's Green with the 3. Drills it from outside. Green's got himself on the board with 3 there.
That's his mindset. Attack, attack, attack whenever possible.
Bridges kicks to Williams. Charlotte moving it around. Pass to Parker. Puts up a 3. Up the line by Charlotte. Biombo. That's good.
Tough effort right there on the glass. Those second chance points can pay off in a big way.
Goes up to the stripe. They grab their own miss. Good on the bucket. Green's got the lead up to 6 now for the Rockets.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Monk kicks to Parker. Pass to Monk. Over Harden. Doesn't go for him. So Houston will take it the other way.
And this has been an outstanding display on the boards, and it's a big part of why they have a lead in this game. Doing the dirty work down low. Yeah, those are starting to add up, guys. Of their last 5 baskets, 3 have been triples.
Here's Bridges. After the Rockets pick up 3. Biombo, the pass to Bridges. Parker outside. Over Green. That one a little long.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take.
Now here's Green. Inside. And Nene gets it to go on the assist by Green. And now it's an 11-point Rocket lead.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
And then Monk with the dunk.
Extraordinary work from Parker to find his teammate for the open basket. His passing is just phenomenal. And 2 for 1, that's what they'd like to get right now.
Yeah, this could come down to the correct play call, but let's see what they do right here.
Continuing to push the action and build this lead.
And you see he's not worried about what's on the scoreboard. He just wants to go ham each possession.
Biombo finds Parker. And here is Bridges. Here's Monk. Nene pulls it in.
Not quite airtight defense right there, but his release was a little bit off on the jump.
Green passes to Fareed. Harden with it. Launches it. No good on the last second attempt there. And so it's Houston. Their lead at 11 points to end the quarter. From beyond the arc, they've been absolutely tremendous. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
James, big first half for you. What was the most important thing that got you going?
Just trying to be aggressive, trying to get out early and give a little spark to my teammates. And they followed along. So, it's just a matter of us not turning the ball over and getting stops.
So far, so good. Thanks, James. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime. So we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, Hoop fans. NBA halftime show on 2K Sports. EJ, Shaq. Houston found themselves in a close game in the first. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. They're in a terrific position now thanks to their flawless execution in the second quarter. Some excellent work offensively now has them up 11 at the break. What'd you think, Shaq, about the first half we saw from the Rockets?
The speed they're playing with has been fantastic. They're pushing the ball in transition and catching the defense. That's snapping, Ernie. Anyway, a huge chunk of their offense has come on the break. They've got a nice lead, but they shouldn't slow anything down. I say keep doing what you do.
Looking at Charlotte, Kenny, your thoughts?
Well, the way I see it, they're losing this game because they're being out-rebounded. You can't give up this kind of differential and expect to remain competitive. So what do? You commit more guys to the glass, guards included. You make it a priority that if you do ultimately lose this game, it's not because you didn't rebound.
And that's a wrap for our halftime show. The third quarter just about to get started.
Well, we've we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
Yeah, so far they haven't found an answer for him. A scoring machine here in that first half.
Oh, well, he's a tricky cover. He does a good job of sensing the defense, making the right move at the right time.
And with a big gap on the scoreboard, the second half begins with very different goals for these teams. One side trying to mount a comeback, one side trying to protect their lead. Williams is down low with Zeller. Jeremy Lamb out there with Kemba Walker. And it's Batum in at the 3 slot. So that's the Hornets 5. Ball's knocked loose, so it's the Hornets now. Lamb dishes to Batum, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Batum's got the first basket of the second half. That one for Charlotte. Guys, Jeremy Lamb, 2 years at UConn, drafted by the Thunder, but he's come into his own with the Hornets.
Yeah, and what some exec call the second draft, finding young players who, for whatever reason, haven't been able to make an impact with their first team. Sometimes that change of scenery and ability to mature can do wonders for a player.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, Kemba Walker helped lead UConn to a national title, but it took some time to hit his stride at the NBA level. He finally became an all-star, but his team is rebuilding in Charlotte. Mitch Kupchak is the new general manager, and James Borrego is the new head coach. Guys?
A terrific player, D.A., for sure. Thanks.
This was not what they had in mind coming out of the locker room at halftime. 4 shots so far and nothing to show for it.
And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. And if you're just joining us, we played over a minute here in the third. And Walker kicks to Zeller. Fades away. And he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in.
Well, in college, Zeller showed great ability to face up and knock down mid-range jumpers. He's just now doing it more consistently in the pros.
Tucker can't get it to go.
Ouch. 5 shots without a make. That's a really ragged start coming out of halftime.
Walker finds Zeller. Outside, Batum. Clock at 6. Fires top of the key. And it's James Harden with the rebound. Harden's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Passes it to Paul. Lets it go from 14. And he can't bank that one in. The pass to Walker. And Paul with a clear path to the hoop. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Evading the foul call. Paul is crafty. It varies his speed.
As you talk about IQ for the game, skill and competitive desire, few can rival Chris Paul.
Well, his buddies LeBron and Wade tease him about having a Napoleon complex. But whatever the reason, his motivation and perfection, it's impossible to mistake.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first free throw is good.
You know, when Chris Paul came to the Rockets, a lot of people questioned if he and James Harden would be able to share the ball. Both known for being ball-dominant guards. I think you'd have to say it's worked out pretty well.
And so Paul nails both of them. And I think Chris Paul never comfortable with that ball-dominant label, Greg. He never played with another guard who could create, certainly on the level of Harden.
No doubt about it. I mean, Mo Pete, J.J. Redick, guys who were great shooters, but really more off-the-ball players. Chris needed to be that kind of a playmaker, but with Harden, he has someone just as gifted at creating baskets for himself and others.
Here is Harden following the basket by Jeremy Lamb. To the paint, Gordon. It's blocked.
And Batum has arms that go on forever and ever and ever, which is why he's so dangerous when it comes to shot blocks.
Paul with the bucket.
Against length, he does a nice job of creating just enough separation.
Yeah, but He has a big height advantage, but that's somewhat mitigated out there on that perimeter when you got to come check him.
And the Hornets call time here.
Oh, look, the multi-talented platoon. He has all the skills. He has the strength, the length, the athleticism. I mean, for him, it's all about staying aggressive on both ends of the floor.
What a stretch it's been for these players. They're the NBA's leading scorers over the last 10 games. These are the real stats, real scores from the real NBA. James Harden, #1, and of course, Kemba Walker.
These two guys are really enjoying themselves right now. It's been a scoring spree for both.
Now here's Williams. 8 points for him. Outside, Batum to the inside. Here's Zeller. The kick out to Walker. Sinks the three-pointer. Walker's got 17.
Again, Walker gets it going. He's tenacious. Feels like he could take on anyone.
Powered down as the whistle blows. A three-point play chance.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
Well, that's just a good example of why the score is what it is. I mean, they need to protect the rim a lot better than that.
And the Hornets making a change here. Kaminsky's checked in.
One shot, gentlemen.
P.J. Tucker C-Webb was an undersized power forward at the University of Texas. He made a pretty effective transition to small forward in the pros.
I mean, the way the game is going now, he's able to slide back to that power forward position as well. The strength to hold his ground. I mean, a good enough shooter to space the floor for his teammates.
And now, here comes Gordon leading the break. The open shot by Paul. Zeller grabs the board.
No other way to put it. Just a poor shooting performance for him. But luckily, his teammates have picked up the slack.
Lamb passes to Walker. He dishes it to Batum. Lock at 6. Over Gordon. A shot by Batum. No good. Shoots from 12. And it's Gordon. That time on the assist by Paul. And that's now 7 points for Eric Gordon. Hornets trail by 12. And Walker kicks to Zeller. The dish to Lamb. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. One thing that's added a little pressure to Lamb's development, Chris, his link to James Harden.
Well, yeah, maybe the most important trade piece received back from Harden. I mean, it's taken Lamb a while to develop. He's coming around, though. But Harden, of course, I mean, he's a perennial MVP candidate.
Free throw drops for Lamb.
And the key piece in one of the biggest NBA trades over the past few years. Lamb was sent by the Rockets to the Thunder in exchange for James Harden. That was a major trade.
Good on both. You know, the NBA has cracked down on flopping. It's still part of the game, but C-Webb, would you agree that progress has been made in that area?
Yeah, I think so, and I'd like to blame a lot of like European players for bringing that over along with soccer. Soccer with the flopping and that, and we've kind of taken away. I know a little bit about flopping. We had some floppers on my Sacramento team. So flopping is frustrating. You don't want to see that. You want to see guys earn it. This isn't soccer or football. And so I think the league has done a very good job, whether it was trying to find guys early or just embarrass you and say, hey, you're acting a fool. Get up right now. No one touched you. Why did you flop? Or act like you were hit and move 10 feet back on the side. I hate flopping. But then again, you must embellish. You must be a good actor. You've got to put the referees in a tough position to make a good call. How do you find that balance? But I think the NBA has done a good job of making sure that it isn't encouraged and isn't rewarded.
Here is Harden, following the basket by Jeremy Lamb. Lob pass to Capella, and the dunk by Capella.
Leaping off the ground with such ease. Capella is exceptional with timing. How to finish these alley-oops.
And a tremendous Unleash Chaos replay coming to you courtesy of Under Armour Hover Havoc. Charlotte calls timeout.
Definitely not pleased with their rebounding at the defensive end. The number of putbacks they've allowed has been terrible. I'm sure that's what he's going to address during this timeout.
We have a moment to look at how the blocks have been stacking up over the past several months for Capella.
We're just not seeing that same fierceness out of him defensively these last few months. He's lost a little bit of that intimidation factor. He's not blocking as many shots, and he's not making the same impact on that end of the floor.
Now here's Batum. He has 7. He kicks it to Kaminsky. Charlotte moving it around. Batum against Gordon. Here's Lamb. No good on the 3. Rockets leading by 10. Harden outside. Launches a 3. Zeller grabs the board. Zeller's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one.
It's been a really tough quarter for him. I mean, he cannot get his shots to drop.
Now, here's Batum. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game.
Oh, well, even though Batum is a little bigger of a guy, he runs the pick and roll to perfection. The defense has no clue whether he's going to shoot or pass.
Batum against Gordon. The ball, a 3 ball. Here's Capella, and there's the bucket. Stand with it on the offensive glass, getting it done. Capella's got 10 points.
Terrific at catching in there at the basket. I mean, his hands are great. Capella uses that size to his advantage.
Zeller dishes to Walker. On the wing, Lamb. The shot's good on the assist by Walker. Walker's got his 5th assist in this one.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Now, here's Capella. He's got 10. Trains the 3-pointer. Paul's got 8 points in the quarter.
And the 3-pointers is becoming a weapon for him now. You can see it. I mean, this is the second of this half, 3rd overall.
Zeller finds Batum. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's going to be on James Harden.
And the athleticism and fearlessness of Batum inside is exceptional, really testing the defense deep in the paint.
Nick Batum, a versatile swingman out of France, a solid shooter and able to create for himself and his teammates.
And he knocks down the first one. And for Batum, a steady vet, but a huge contract.
Yeah, and that infamous summer of 2016 with the cap spike. I mean, he's a capable starter, but 5 years, $120 million, boy. That's a pretty penny.
Monk's checked in for Kemba Walker. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
And even though they're down, they are putting on a show at the free throw line.
Paul kicks it to Tucker. Gordon, the pass to Capella. Kicks it out to Paul. In the corner, Harden out of bounds. Charlotte takes possession.
A moment now to see the numbers for Capella. 3rd in field goal percentage, 7th in rebounding, and he's also ranked in the top 10 in blocks per game. No trespassing when he's in the lane.
And it's a strong accomplishment. 3rd best in field goal percentage. He just refuses to take bad shots. That's why his coaches love him. Charlotte calls timeout. One of the stories here, James Harden getting it done today.
This is a critical timeout for them. They've got to come up with a plan to slow him down right here and right now.
We get a break in the action. Let's check out the leaders in steals. James Harden, 3rd.
And he's been a rock for them defensively. Just so many steals for him this year, and so many of them have been in key moments for his team.
Zeller finds Lamb. Paul left side. Over Monk. And it's Paul missing. And so it's Lamb with it. He brings it up for the Charlotte Hornets. Pass to Zeller. Poke loose. Shot clock at 6. Batum with the 3. It's hauled in by Clint Capella. Capella's got the glass covered here tonight. 11 boards for him. Looking to get it going. Harden, no good.
And so far this quarter, he's been a little off on his game.
Yeah, the scoring, I mean, it's not coming easy for him. You have to get into a little rhythm, but that's when you can make the extra pass. Play the role of the facilitator.
Now here's Zeller. He has 6. And he finishes nicely on the layup. Zeller's got 6 in the quarter.
And not relying at all on the three-point shot. They may want to rethink about stretching the defense a bit like they did in that first half.
Here is Paul. He's got 15. Harden kicks it to Tucker. It's good. The assist that time from Harden. Tucker's got 13.
He's terrific at finding an open man. I mean, good awareness from the floor, from the combo guard. Harden.
Now, here's Monk, defended by Paul. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. And the Hornets making a change here. Williams is checked in. And a switch here also for Houston. Rivers checked in. Rockets leading by 9. Outside Gordon. Jacks up a 3. They get it back. And it's Capella missing.
That type of defense doesn't always get it done, but it does the job that time.
Lamb passes to Batum. Down to 5 on the shot clock. From deep, Williams.
Tremendous effort. I mean, this guy has already cracked double digits on the backboard.
Yeah, Greg, I mean, the work he's putting in has been outstanding. He's handling the rebounding duties all by himself.
Green, he's checked in for the Rockets.
One shot.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
Hornets trail by 12. And Lamb kicks to Monk. There's 42 seconds left here in the third quarter. And for the Rockets, they're shooting 43% from the floor.
And you've got to be more careful in that situation. That's his 5th foul, and now he's walking a fine line.
Gentlemen, 2 shots. Roof shots.
The first one falls. And he makes the first but misses the second. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. On the wing, Williams, guarded by Tucker. Monk, no one around him. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Williams. Williams has got 3 assists tonight.
And this is where you milk the clock.
You're exactly right. No reason to give your opponent another crack at this. It's all you.
Harden kicks to Rivers. Lob pass to Capella. No good there. And so it's Houston going into the break with a 10-point lead. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. We've got more in store for you right after this. Let's hear what Mike D'Antoni was going over with his team moments ago.
Way to fight, guys. Way to fight. That's all it is. That's all it is. Way to get on the floor. Way to go.
Well, you can see, Greg, he sees the fighting spirit in his team right now.
Yeah, they're playing with energy and purpose. Coach sounds very pleased.
Fourth quarter of action is upon us. Thanks, as always, for joining us. Fourth quarter on the court for the Rockets. Kenneth Faried is out there with P.J. Tucker. And it's Green, and it's Rivers, and it's Harden, and at the 2 spot.
And when you're down this many points, hard to justify leaving a good shooter that wide open.
Well, the game looks like it's starting to wear on them. Unable to get out, defend the perimeter, unfocused. This is a bad sign.
Now, here's Monk. Kaminsky kicks to Monk. Down low, Williams passes to Kaminsky. Chalk up 2 there.
Such an advantage for Kaminsky. He can finish inside with either hand.
Rivers finds Harden. Knocked loose. And Marvin Williams picks up the foul. That's it for him. He's fouled out of the game.
And he has to take that long, slow walk back to the bench here. He'll watch the rest of this one from the sideline.
Bridges, he's checked in for Charlotte. Tucker bounce pass. Clock at 6. Rivers looking over the floor. Here's Faried. And Faried throws it down.
And great effort on the boards, and what a mean
Yeah.
that was, Kev. I mean, you just will not see him ever quit on a play.
That guy is a handful. You've got to have a body on him at all times.
Yeah, fellas, he's a monster. He's never seen an offensive rebound he didn't think he could get to.
We've gone about a minute and a half into the fourth quarter, and it's Kenneth Faried with the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. Here's Lamb, and the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
That's a good athlete with nice fluidity and quickness. Lamb can draw fouls when he's pushing the action.
The first one falls. And Lamb drops them both.
And just a better job of getting to the line here in the second half. Didn't get there once in the first.
Parker against Rivers. Over Parker. That one off the back iron and out.
Now, this has not been his best effort. He's lucky his teammates have been there to bail him out.
No good from Lamb. Houston leading by 11. Green kicks it to Tucker. Houston moving it around. Harden outside. Down to 5 on the shot clock. He goes up again. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the knee.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Move shots.
First free throw is good. That one is no good.
Yeah, thinking back to Kaminsky's first affiliation with the NBA. I mean, when he was 5 years old, his aunt and uncle worked for the Bulls. Frank had access to the practice facility when Jordan and Rodman were on the team. That's not fair.
Here's Fareed following the basket by Jeremy Lamb. Rivers dishes to Fareed. And the layup's good off the glass. And the Rockets lead by 12.
I'm sure he loves that matchup. He gives him a big size advantage down low.
To the left side wing. Monk, the pass to Kaminsky. Pulls up. And it's Monk that time on the assist by Kaminsky. And that's now 17 points for Malik Monk. Harden kicks to Rivers. Back to Harden. Over Parker. Good D by Parker.
Wow, what a rough second half for him shooting the basketball. Maybe you adopt a pass-first mentality at this point.
Houston leading by 10. And Malik Monk is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is checked in for Monk. A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth. Rivers against Kidd-Gilchrist. 6 to shoot. Rivers finds Tucker from deep. Green. Rebounded by Lamb. The Hornets have gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. Here's Bridges. Misses the 3. And so it's Harden bringing it up for the Rockets. They've given up just 8 points in the fourth quarter, and he's good on the 3 ball. Harden's got the lead up to 13 now for the Rockets.
First 3 of the half, second of the game. Can he heat up?
Parker passes to Kaminsky. Kicks to Lamb. They double him with Green, and it's Kenneth Fareed with the foul. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Some changes for Charlotte. Cody Zeller's checked in for Kaminsky, and Walker subbed in for Tony Parker. And Fareed comes to help. Walker in the corner. Just 5 on the clock. Banked in off the glass. Walker's got 19 points.
But Walker has speed to burn. A nightmare keeping him out of the paint.
Harden kicks it to Tucker. Here's Rivers. No good with the triple. Hornets trail by 11. Nobody near Kidd-Gilchrist from outside off the mark. Rockets have gone 4 of 10 here in the final period. Not the time to go cold. Bridges against Green. Now here's Rivers. He's covered closely. For three. It's rebounded by Charolett. And now running up the court, Kid Gilchrist pushing it up. Here's Rivers in the corner. Harden, and Kemba Walker is going to pick up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
And the next one puts him in the bonus.
Nicholas Batum, he's checked in for Charlotte. And then for Houston, Nene, he's checked in for Reed. Gordon comes in for Green. And it's Paul in for Rivers. Nene finds Gordon. Houston moving it around. A shot by Paul, no good. Hornets trail by 11. Now here's Lamb. Now Walker. Pass to Lamb. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Batum, guarded by Harden. Releases. Charlotte no good that time either. Houston leading by 11. Takes the three, and he's good on the three ball. Harden's got a couple of three-pointers now in the fourth for Houston.
And defensively, you have got to extend to their shooters. They have been on fire this half.
Yeah, they've been tremendous from beyond the arc. It's a shift from what they did in the first two quarters.
A tough first half, but it's been a different story here since the break.
A floater and a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got 5 assists tonight. The Hornets have gone 5 of 11 from the field in the fourth quarter. Walker against Paul. Poked away. And it's Houston on the break. Paul with the ball. Really left alone that time. Paul's got 10 points in just the second half. Hornets trail by 15. And Walker kicks to Zeller. Passes it to Lamb. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Gordon, the teardrop falls in. And the Rockets lead by 17.
Gordon's floater is so soft, gliding it beautifully over the deep, making it hard to block.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying annex to narrow the deficit.
Give the loose D an assist on that one. Get a body on him.
Not quite enough defense. That time around, just lucky he was off.
And there's the pass to Lamb. Just 5 to shoot. Puts it up from 12. And the rebound goes to Nene. And so it's Paul bringing it up for the Rockets. 15-point game. And it's Gordon missing.
Too tentative on the finish. Forget about the D. Take it up strong.
Kid Gilchrist, the pass to Walker. And here is Zeller. He kicks it to Lamb. Over Harden. And he overshot that one, missing.
Off target with what's what? A pretty good look from mid-range.
Connects from three-point range.
This is an amazing run he's on. It's like he's been the only guy on the floor this quarter.
Charlotte calls timeout.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Ooh, this is ugly. No question about it. And you wonder if these matchups aren't favoring them right now.
Jordan Player of the Game, James Harden.
It's a take-charge brand of basketball he's been playing tonight. His point total tells you all you need to know about just how good he's been. And once he got going, their game plan really became simple. Just get him the ball.
Coming into this game, he had been having a tough stretch. We all know that, but not anymore. He's back at his best, and I think it's safe to say that slump is over. Now, here's Walker. And the dunk by Zeller.
That is prime-time point guard play. A sensational find by Walker to set up the easy run.
Ball goes in. Rejected by Walker. On the wing, Batum. And Lamb with the basket on the assist by Batum. Batum's got his 7th assist here tonight. Rockets leading by 14. Here's Capella. He gets that one to drop. He's now 5 of 12.
Got to be more forceful than that when guarding Capella. I mean, he fends off defenders with such ease.
Walker against Paul. Elbow shot. Walker's shot is off.
I think he lets the D get to him there, and he rushes it. I mean, he has plenty of space there if he just takes his time.
Harden outside. Plays it in without an inch of room around him. Harden's got 14 points now in the second half.
And now they are probably too far ahead. It's going to be nearly impossible to get back in this one.
That's why you can't let yourself get in this deeper hole. Very little time now to climb out.
And tonight's battle is going to end with a very clear winner, leaving nothing to chance. Impressive win for the Rockets.
What an effort in the transition game we've seen tonight from these guys. Really pushed the ball, and I think in doing so created a lot of pressure on the defense.
Definitely had a huge edge, and this is their DNA. When they run the ball and dictate the flow of the offense like we've seen here, these are the kinds of games they can have.
And this will make it 36 wins on the year for them.
And so they win their first game against this squad. It's a 2-game season series, and they'll be going for the sweep the next time they face off.
Hey, you know, guys, what a nice performance it was for James Harden.
He was too much for them to deal with tonight. Plain and simple. They tried all sorts of ways to contain him, and nothing worked.
Here is Harden following the basket by Chris Paul. Capella kicks to Paul. And some nice passing there by Houston. And it's Gordon missing.
His three-point game hasn't been there for him today, but don't sleep on him. At any moment, he could get his touch back.
Outside, Batum over Gordon, offline. So we see the Rockets taking the win here. A resounding victory for them. And Greg, in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you very much with Kenneth Reed. What was the key tonight?
Just keep attacking, keep playing strong, and you know, my teammates that believe in me, just relock in and get focused and play my game.
Great team win tonight, Kenneth. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that'll do it, folks. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Chris Webber, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. So long and good night, everyone.